Yes, if you want to win, what you do, you prepare the bed. Probably if you take 5 minutes to do it, if you do it so well, end up doing it 2 minutes. So sometimes you try things not knowing or they work, they have impact in other people's life. And now we see. So we decided to say now we are having Anchor's conversation. I think by doing this, we are now exposed because merely to see the difference between the mind and the brain is something else. And how do the both works? Most of us don't know, right? And we live in pain, man. You know, have you ever you want to sleep, you put your head on a pillow, you can't sleep because it's so painful. Like even like you lose interest on anything. If somebody and no one feel what you are feeling. When people look at you, it's either through your body structure, maybe your eyes, the way you walk. Like you can see that this person is going through pain, but you cannot share unless if you know the pain. You know, sometimes we go through things so that we can see them.
Welcome to Anchor's Conversations. We talk real issues, discussing life, success, and failure. Join the conversation, and we together we inspire the next generation. Welcome.
Yebo, good day. Welcome to Anchor's Conversation. Captain, welcome. So, this conversation today, we are going to actually prove that the conversations, they don't necessarily need to choose between people and performance. But we are going to have conversations that can actually show that, not basically show, but that can actually strengthen, both of the principles, the performance of people and people itself. In a sense of saying that we don't just solve for social issues, but we solve social issues by addressing people's realities. And how we do that is to have real conversations that affect people, from mindset, from finances, from your work environment, from what's happening out there. And I think that's the approach that we need to take from here on. Welcome.
Yeah, who welcomes who? I welcome me as if you're a guest.
No, okay. So actually now we're gonna hold this thing proper.
Before Tomamo, please, you cannot plant an idea into our brain. So I'm asking myself for idea or thought into our brain. Now I'm asking myself, is there a difference between a thought and a brain? What is the difference between a mind and a brain?
Sure.
And at the same time now, I think everything happens in the head. Like you feel excited, pain, just like now, Pirates just all.
The big team. I was waiting for you to say.
How can a team, like it have never happened after 14 years? No, born.
Yes, okay, sure.
You can't celebrate take
I know we're going to be celebrating later on tonight. But anyways, go on.
Bolo I ended therefore. Bolo soccer doesn't have therefore in a sense. We will also win. But I saw yesterday, even if it doesn't have therefore, they decided to say therefore I made the own goal. Like imagine goalkeeper working combo. Like no one are manage home. We tell a bolo what if talking pale we tell a bolo ka face record.
But they were under pressure, like you said, Honabele, or happiness. Pressure I think they were just thinking about the fact that listen, we're gonna be relegated, we're gonna be out. So now all of that was building up. It was building also that they were thrilled. They were excited. They were scared.
So why are you not talking about Bongani being scared that they are not gonna win? Sundown Sitlava is working from home. Why are you taking one side? Because of I fear. And
I guess it was evident. And I think when you looked at how some of the players were playing, they were under pressure. They were not composed. Imagine now if these people knew that they are of great quality. I mean, these are players that play international, but Bafana in the upcoming World Cup. But they were not composed. They were scared. Everyone was just getting copiladas and was just kicking the ball. Mindset, pressure.
Because Bongani, right? And at the end of the day, we might end up talking and Pirates. You always want to defend. Mara, painful at this day. So I think this year we are shooting our first episode.
Sure.
we did the work last year, and then we also had banks. People, with these social media things, with recording, you can work and compile them. And people think busy.
busy shooting, sure.
So we're busy focusing on other things. And then now we have seen, and even people, thank you to everyone who has commented, who has given us advice, who has put input and give us feedback. And then we have decided to say we are moving from next gen conversation anchors. With that, we are saying we are not a podcast. We are just guys who love to have conversations. Sure. Conversation around what we see and also what is it that we can do. And sometimes you try things not knowing or they work, they have impact in other people's life. And now we see. So we decided to say now we are having anchors conversations. And we are mainly speaking about educational issues. We're talking about financial issues within financial industry and also health issues, focusing mainly from Momulale Moya Kodim, because this thing is the
saver, yeah.
Yeah. So we have realized man, hell and heaven most of the time is in your head.
Sure.
And that's the direction that we want to take going forward, to say, okay, there are social issues, there are economical issues, but we know things are getting tough. We need mental strength. We need winning mentality, which we're going to seek a sundown, seek a jeko, or rather fates all working from home. Salobana bali jale sadal. So you see, for you to be able to face game you must be very strong. That we now, I think in the next 20 years, I'll be talking about Pirates and Orbit College. It will never sit well in Napilapil. 20 meter gone, so.
Look, like you said, it's all about the winning mentality. But when you started earlier on, you mentioned something that I found interest in. The difference between e-brain and the thought, I think you said. What is the difference there?
Okay. I had Prabong Sebelebele, mo arapela, God can give us a thought into our brain while there is no reason, right?
Sure.
Or it's no purpose. So I've realized that there's which we also spoke about. There is the mind, which is intangible.
Sure.
There is the brain, which is tangible, which is it's amazing this thing. Therefore, it also says it splits two, and this is my understanding. Whether I'm right or wrong,
sure.
We'll see. So I believe that we have a human being has two things: has a spirit man ke moya. So if you go back, how did they create a human being? Come for Bible reading, I think big staying done. Staying. So
what can out of the equation?
No, ke story.
Sure,
Yeah, very mudimurile barile. Therefore, he was not alone. We say let us create a man, right? And we know from the dust. Mape like it's
Sure.
So let us create a man. Mopa. Therefore, why it's a halore. It's like you are creating something, and then you realize there is no life, and then but he blow life into the person. But now the question is, if you are creating a man in your own image, is it the image which is flesh, or is the image as a spirit? Therefore, which means mudimiki spirit or honos born. Therefore, it believes if we are created in the God's image, which means we are spirits. Therefore, which means spirits has mind, and therefore the body is also created, which has a brain. So which means mutu two in one. Now, those are most of the things that we struggle with. Most of the social issues, because we don't realize that as a human being, we have two things. You have the spirit, which has a mind. You also have a physical man, which has a brain. So most of the time, let's say, for example, drugs,
sure,
or you are affecting your brain, right? And then now you are. The more I heard that when you suppress your brain, then your mind think. I might be right or might be wrong, right? So therefore it also says for Nahore, I've seen that, but they stuck between a thought and action. So which means you think about something, and then you know you must do something, Mario, you are stuck in between, you don't do anything.
Sure.
Yeah, you know.
And but when you think about it, Honabiale, from what you've just gave, the two, the spirit and the being, why do you think that like people can think about something and not be able to accomplish it? What is the reasoning behind it?
Mindset.
Are they do you think they need to be able to understand the two things, the spirit of a person and the being of a person as it is?
No, that's complicated because if you start, not everyone can understand those things. You must go and study. You must have, I believe, you must certain knowledge because you'll end up misleading people.
Sure.
Right? You'll be talking about things because when you start talking about spiritual things, most of them are detained. I want proof. But right? But those are the things that we know. We go to church because of Barry. Go and so that you must which means you must suppress your flesh and then increase that. And we had the same conversation.
Yes,
Whereby when we say when you fast, there's certain things that happens.
Sure.
And there's certain things that we can do. So to come back to answer you, right? In terms of why do people stuck between the thought and action is mainly the work that they need to. I think the most important things as human beings or people, we need to understand the brain. How does it work? How can we use our brain effectively? Why do we go to school? Why do we have to exercise? Why do we have to read? Why do we have to think positively? Right? Because of through what's happening within the brain. Because I know, and I can also check, or I'm going to check or a brain is something that you can rewire. So I was checking something or what happens within the mind. Again,
Sure.
within the mind there is identity and internal stuff, and then this is where transformation start. Belief, thoughts, identity. So beliefs is what do I believe about myself, right? Thoughts, what do I repeatedly think?
Sure.
And identity, why do I see myself as, or who do I see myself as? And meaning, how do I interpret life?
So now let's bring it maybe to the reality of things, and then it actually reminds me of a post that I saw from Jim Quick on LinkedIn, and he was referring to people that actually wants to rewire their brain, and in a form of habits, because of I'm sure you can actually develop a habit within 21 days, and he was introducing things that you can do, like learning something new, reading, going to a new place, challenging yourself, like you're saying, being able to go to go in gym. So someone that is not able to think between, or rather not even not think, but not being able to differentiate between and a thought and having to take an action. What are some of the habits that you should say that person would need to develop or work on?
So personally, what worked for now, or what's actually will work?
Let's bring it to you. Can I get a bit personal, Hanyan? We were just making a joke earlier on in terms of home, coming from orphanage home.
Okay, yeah.
Growing up from an orphanage home and then being able to be integrated into the world, there are some of the habits that you had to unlearn that you were taught. Go home. How did you deal with it as a person? Like, how did you switch your brain? How did you rewire your brain to start being fully integrated in the system?
Okay. So if I were to answer, I must be careful, right?
Sure.
Because I'm not an expert when it comes to brain.
Yeah.
Or the mind or the mindset. But
Sure.
I know I have a very strong mindset as an individual.
Sure.
So in terms of a positive mindset, because I believe if my mindset was not right, I wouldn't be where I am or go where I'm going to. Right.
So.
But I've also learned that when you have a positive mindset, there are certain things that you must do so that you can attain. Otherwise, you are dreaming. It's like Urubets. Because what a mindset is, we all have dreams. We all have dreams. No, can 9 o'clock, Sundowns, fancy win, Ritsuria win, Sundowns. right? You can see it. You probably can even interpret or those things happens in the mind. You have not seen them yet.
Sure.
Right? For them to happen, somebody must do something, which means there must be an action. Now, to rewire your mind, it also says, it talks about beliefs, it talks about thoughts, identity. So now for now, to rewire my brain, I think what helped me is the routines that I have, right? The books that I read, the environment that I expose myself to, and the people that I are surrounded. Now, we said it takes 21 days for somebody to rewire their mind, right?
To build a habit.
To build a habit.
Yeah.
Question we all have habits, whether we like it or not.
Sure.
And those habits happen.
Yes.
Now, question habits. Then I'm gonna bring the question back to when. On a normal day, let's say from Monday to Friday, when you wake up, what is it that you do between 5 and 7:30? Because I know you start waking around 7:30, 8 o'clock. What is it that you do from Monday to Friday?
I mean, I think in the mornings, like from Monday to Friday, in the morning, the first thing I think about is gym. Right?
Yes.
I get ready for gym. I set up everything. I take my whey proteins. I take my pre-workout. Then I head to gym. And eventually, once I get out of the house, when I start getting out, I start talking. I start engaging. I meet different people, and I'm always talking with people. Now, it's a daily thing because I get to learn every day from someone new, and I get go gymming. I see different people, and we start training. And I think that's also one of the things that actually helps to strengthen my brain.
So now you see, every day from Monday to 7:30 to Friday, what is it that you do, right?
Yeah.
The things that you do, those things are habits, whether you see them or you don't see them.
Sure.
Or jumping stage, or let's say whey protein, let's say go gymming, mara. That's not what you do.
Sure.
What you do, you wake up before you sleep, which I know. So I'm asking information that I do because
Sure.
you will say, I'm preparing my bag. So which means you prepared your bag
The night before, yes.
The night before.
Yes.
When you wake up, first thing that you do is either you're going to brush your teeth.
Yeah.
Right? Those are habits.
Sure.
Automatically. Your mind automatically is on autopilot. When you wake up, is either you prepare your bed. If prepare
Sure.
because of immediately first thing bed. And they say that's your first win.
Yes.
If you want to win, what you do, you prepare the bed. Probably if you take 5 minutes to do it, if you do it so well, end up doing it 2 minutes.
Sure.
And but you brush your teeth. And then after brushing your teeth, you Jimmy, how then you mix then you get out.
Yeah.
Already that time, that's what those are the small things that you do to build habits. And when you build those habits, automatically you are rewiring your mind. Automatically you are becoming a better person because of when you do it long. If you go gymming, whether you are happy or not happy, whether you are asleep or not sleep, by getting to that environment, the music, you starting to exercise, pumping your blood flow and everything automatically does something into your brain.
You become awake.
Awake, right? Now imagine if you do that automatically, your mind, you are now rewiring your mind. And I'm getting lost.
No, it's okay. I want to bring you in, Dabongs. Ujim Quick was talking about a few things like so those habits that can rewire a person's brain. What would you say, when we bring it to you personally? What would you say are some of the things that you do on a day-to-day that helps you to keep your brain sharp? That helps you to keep your thoughts aligned? That helps you to be fit to go sit with people and have conversations and meaningful conversations.
Yeah, no, thanks, Thato. And greetings to our viewers as well. Like you mentioned, Bongani, Mtombeni, that's me. Yeah. Sebelebele.
Sure.
Well, in in my case, I think it's there are things that I need to relearn, and there are things that I need to learn. There are things that I need to unlearn. So it's 3 things.
So
I learn, relearn, and unlearn. So meaning the ones that I unlearn, I don't need them anymore because they are no longer serving the purpose. So my mind, I treat it as a library that keeps all the records that I will need. And then the habits that I build are the habits that are more of a necessity to my day-to-day basis. One will be reading. Reading, it's part of me.
Every day.
Every day.
No mistake.
No
excuse.
mistake.
Sure.
Before I start my day starts around now because it's 2026. Now I at least have pushed it to start at 4.
Sure.
Previously, I started at 3. So between 3 and 4 was my spiritual time. That's my habits. Where between 3 and 4, I'm connecting with the divine. I'm talking to the person that I believe he exists. Because we are in the world where we have a worldview of different religions. I'm not a religious person, but I'm a person who believes in spirituality, in my understanding who I'm talking to and where he is, this person, and in the ways that I need to connect with him and time.
Sure.
So between 3 and 4, it's my praying time. Like Sebelebele was saying, you already know the habits that you do on a day-to-day. Before you go to sleep, you've packed your bag. That's a habit. So for me, before I can start the day, I need to make sure that my spirituality is in line with what I want to become today. So now I'm doing it between 4 and 5. So that hour, I just shifted the time from 3 to 4. Previously it was 3 to 4, now it's 4 to 5. I start by reading, connecting, meditating, praying, reading, researching, asking questions, checking if my spirituality is really active, because I need to have a record of what I'm believing in. It's really working, or I'm just wasting time here. You know, I need to do some reviews and stuff like that. And then between 5 and 6, it's my exercising time. That's where I go for a gym, a walk, just stretching, whatever I will be doing. But that time is for my health. Those are the habits, because everything is in the brain. So my mind knows that between 4 and 5, this person needs to be awake. You need to be reading. You need to be studying.
It actually happens. You just wake up.
It actually happens. Yeah. You know, it becomes a habit now. And then between 5 and 6, I need to be at least walking around, stretching. There will be no anything that I can do because that time is allocated for my exercise. So I need to be exercising in the morning, stretching and all that. And then between 7 and 8, going up there, then those are my day-to-day activities. It's either meetings, it's either helping kids, taking kids to school, doing that and that and that and that and that. But the first hour, it's the first 2 hours is the most important one. Those are, I make sure that, because they link with my mental health. So the reading, the divine connection, the exercising.
Even your reasoning capacity becomes much better during the day.
I'm thinking so. I hope so.
I wanna learn. I wanna take this opportunity to learn. Right? You mentioned something that I found interesting, and I throw it to you, Captain, and to you, Tabongs. You said that you keep track, right, of everything that you do. Habits that you need that are essentials, and habits that are non-essentials. How do you sit down? And I'm asking for myself now. How do you now then sit down and then you start differentiating with it? No, this thing is not working. This is not a good habit to follow. How do you identify that?
So I heard Brabong Sari, this is what I do. Obanana ketsa so ke reban. Why ke araba nna ke doja. So ere ke araba tshwana le. You see, what do I do every night before I sleep, my guy, ne?
Sure.
So I won't tell you the time. I can't tell you the time exactly. Hey man, I don't know. I'm scared. Or something. Yeah. So I can't tell you the exact time before I sleep because of important phone.
Sure.
Maria 4 and 5 Brabongs ways up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna try that one. 1 hour, sit and connect to the divine. Bona 4 and 5. If we nyaga tla nkreya kana kwe.
But 4 and 5 are through in the morning. Right? Get through.
In the
Or
morning.
is it in the afternoon?
In the morning.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So what do I normally do every night before I sleep? Between 45 minutes or an hour, I sit in a quiet place and think what happened today.
You reflect on your...
Yes. Why? Because I realize not during the day, I choose to do 3 things. Like 3 things. And it works for me. Saying, today I'm going to work on these 3 things, start them and accomplish them. I was given advice by a good friend of mine. I was not in a good state. You know what? Whatever is happening from now on, just choose 3 things. And when you start with them and finish them. Right? So I've been doing that. 3 things and it works. So if you say 3 things to start and finish them Monday, imagine by Friday you have done 15 things that you have started and accomplished. Right? So the only thing that I do, I just choose those 3 things. And at the end of the day, I sit down and say, what is it that I did today?
Sure.
Looking into those 3 things. Then I realize most of the things, driving, preparing, bathing, those things where I was on autopilot. I don't know what happened. I don't know how did I do it. I don't know who did I speak to. I don't know why did I call about treasure. I don't know why I spoke to you. Like things happen in jail.
Yeah.
And then I come back and say, okay, what are the things that waste my time? That wasted my time today that I can do better.
Sure.
Then I realize maybe I spend an hour on social media, right? So for me, it only works into doing an audit in the evening. Then I start saying this and that. I spend most of the time. Then tomorrow I must just be careful of these other things. Then I play my day for tomorrow. I'm going to do these 3 things, but also reduces some of the things that I've done with unintentional or that I need to change. And that's how it works for me.
I fully agree. Sorry to interject there.
No, that's not the bunks.
That strategy, it's important. You need to accomplish something each and every day. Because if you pile up things that are not finished, by the end of the year, you are behind. And that's why most of the time when we look into ourselves and into our lives, we feel as if we are not achieving anything because we didn't set the goal for the day. So it starts by setting a goal for the day. Today, I'm going to go and record a podcast, and I need to be there presently. So fully focused, contribute my part, and finish it.
Sure.
That encourages you to now step into other bigger things, because we just want to start a big thing, but you've never achieved start small and finished a small thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, I want to read this, and my question is not yet answered.
Yeah, so before I would say question, and to all of us, even myself,
Sure.
we then say, with what Brabongs have said, he wakes up and prepare his day. Like he's spending an hour, he's focused and connecting, looking into what I'm going to do. And then from more first thing that he does after that, which means is you and the higher power. Right? And then the first thing is to say, I'm going to spend an hour on myself, gym and exercise and everything, before I do everything and give everyone attention, because we have responsibilities, right? Do we then agree, Hore, most of the things, whatever you do in that way, you are actually rewiring or formatting your brain now. Therefore, which means, my question is, do we then agree that, because I also know, so the brain is like a processing system. So do we then agree, actually a brain, if you don't take care of it, it can do its own things. If you don't osai process, osai format, osai krokomele, osai certain things so that you can build it. Are you sure I'm asking a right question?
The answer is yeah.
The answer is yes.
Yes.
From me.
Yeah. And utala this gym quick guy when you journal your thoughts, it helps. Writing helps your brain organize what it's trying to process. When you journal, you slow down your thoughts. you label your emotions, and you create distance from mental noise. This can help strengthen self-awareness, emotional regulation, and the brain's ability to reframe stressful thoughts. So what did this habit really building to reflect? I think it actually helps as much as. But when I know you're right, you're always writing. So when you do
I don't know what I'm doing when I write. Just do it. I agree, we're having this conversation to find out what
That's
is it that.
that's a good habit.
yeah,
it's a
I
good-
always see him writing. Like, "Kiele buka ile." No, he's always writing. So to your point, I think it actually helps you to process things around you. It helps you to be able to regulate your emotions. It helps you to stay far from the mental noise that is happening in your in your head. So I think I'm gonna try it. I think I'm gonna try it as well.
So most of the time we are doing things without knowing what it's
Yes.
like me writing. So writing does what?
Are writing, it slows down your thoughts. It helps you to label your emotions, and then it creates distance from mental noise.
Okay, let me explain something according to my understanding.
Sure.
Right. When you don't use your brain for important things, don't think, Hore, the brain is stop thinking. The brain continue to do what it's supposed to do because it's a brain. It's a function of thinking.
Yes.
Let me give a practical example. Let's say you pick up a book, you want to start reading a book, and you are not used to reading. You just open first chapter. You read the first paragraph. When you're about to go to the second paragraph, your brains now start thinking about Sebelebele.
Sure.
Or thinking about that beautiful lady you saw
Yes.
in the mall.
Yes.
You're losing track now on your study because you are not used to studying and reading.
Yes.
But the more you start engaging with reading books, immediately when you open a book, your brain starts to come back and recollect itself and focus and say, we are going to read and finish chapter 1 or chapter 2. So this example I'm giving here is that your brain's got power if you don't have power on it to take charge
Yeah.
of whatever.
Yeah.
Mo ke tshwanetse ke apare di-brain. Ke badile something mo ke sa bone and sa tsheha, ne?
And my question is still not answered in terms of how do you differentiate between non-essential habits, Dabongs? How do you honestly sit down and say, okay, Mara, yeah, this is me? How do you become too honest, too accountable to yourself like that to say this thing is not working? I'm very and I want to cut it out.
Yeah. Sebelebele, you want to come in?
No.
Okay, let me just answer. Thato, when you come to that decision of saying this thing is no longer beneficiary for me,
Yeah, sure.
you will see by its results. The consequences are actually the reason why you must stop certain things. Some of us, we look at the decision and we think a decision is the most important thing. I need to decide.
Sure.
Decision goes once. You do a decision once. You don't do a decision many times. You do it once, but you live with your consequences of your decision forever.
So you see,
So
it actually,
Brasia said, the life you are living today is the decisions that you made 10 years,
10 years ago.
ago.
Yeah.
Wabona?
These are the consequences.
These are the consequences of the decisions that we made 10 years ago.
Yes.
So when you decide, just know what there are consequences.
If this thing is no longer serving the purpose,
Yes.
that's where now you realize, Hore, I must just let it go. Must
So-
change. That's why I said you learn, relearn, and learn.
So to bring it back to what you said earlier on Hannah this conversation, you said that there's a gap, right, between a person thinking and a person
No, the thought.
acting,
The thought and action.
or the thought and action, right?
Yeah.
There's a gap.
Yeah.
So would you say that gap it could be a result of someone not being able to identify and correctly identify that this is a non-essential habit for me. I'm empirical.
Hela, let's be honest, we are all scared of ourselves.
Rightly so.
And now, me go isa school. Agar ke apere di brain.
Eh, papa.
You know what?
Professor, like minister, well. Mara ha tshwana le nata bong so mmona ne.
You know,
Our industry something.
okay, so there is difference between the mind and the brain, right?
Sure.
which I've tried to explain. So I'm reading here. It says, the mind is something you can touch. It is a process. It's the process and experience created by the brain. Again, and its role is thinking, emotions, which is love, fear, and anger,
Sure.
beliefs and perception, how you interpret reality, decision making and intention, self-awareness, right? Yeah. So it says within the mind, you think, again, ideas, you imagine. You have emotions, which is love, fear, and anger. Those happens in the mind. Fear, we born. Love, you just tell people that I love you. Marosne action, no tshwana.
Sure.
Beliefs, perception, whatever you believe, whether it's or writing, that's a belief. You don't know whether it's or bia. Decision making, you make the decision and also self-aware. Now the mind, right? No, this is the mind. Now we go to the brain. It says a brain is part of your body, like your heart and lungs, right? So you cannot operate the mind, but you can operate the brain. Because, right? So, so it's part of the body, just like your heart and your lungs.
Yes.
And then its role, control your bodily function, which is breathing, heartbeat, movement, process, movement again.
Nerve system.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then process sensory input, what you see, hear, and feel. Now it makes sense. And then
That's the function of the brain.
the brain. It stores memories, which is physical, via neural connections. Send and receive signal, though the nervous system, through the nervous system. Think of the brain as a hardware. Without it, there is no platform for thinking, feeling, or...
True. Now, this is beautiful. I like what you said. The brain is the hardware,
Yes.
which is like this computer.
Yes,
That's the brain,
yes,
the box. And then the mind are the softwares that are inside this box
Yes.
to make this computer function. The laptop you are having on your lap, the outside part is the hardware,
yes,
but the inside part is the software.
yes.
So that's the brain and the mind.
Okay.
Maybe just to make it easy.
Okay, so this is the brain.
That's the brain.
That's
You can,
that
that
you
one
can
you
see,
can
you can even
operate.
touch.
You can change the
You
LCD.
can change everything.
You can change the buttons. You can.
Mara, the software kamhari, like
If
just
the
like a
softwares
phone,
are not right,
just like a cell phone,
Yeah.
a WhatsApp app, it's a software,
It's a software.
which is the mind.
yes,
Again, the phone,
you cannot touch.
you
it.
cannot touch it.
But you can use-
Why berekisa wa khotla wa ha bano ke tomo understand. Why khotla wa bona hore e teng
Now,
Yes.
the hardware needs the
software to function.
to function.
And if you can't take care of it, if you can't take
If
care of,
virus goes into,
Then it's a slap.
or the hardware, if you don't take care of the hardware, how we exercise it, you don't read, everything crashes. Now it brings us back to so you must take care of your mind, which is software again, and then but the hardware is most important because of it's a platform for the brain is the platform for the mind. So without a brain, brain dead, mara atlhokofala. Yeah, but no brain dead, mara is not
and
dead.
how sa hopola dilo tse
It's
ding.
all about it,
Sure.
right?
Sure.
So which means he's still a human being, unsimola, mara the platform has a function. So now to go back to what I said, the thought which happens in the mind and action, it's a gap. The gap is in the brain.
The gap is in the brain.
The gap is the brain. So if you addresses what happens into the brain, then there's no way that you won't win or solve most of the issues.
So
Now we'll put it in this way.
Yes.
You need to be careful what you input to the brain.
Yes.
The input is important.
Yes.
Because the input will be important when you need to do the output.
that's profound what you just said. And you mentioned something which, like, if you don't take care of it, it takes care of itself, right? And it actually reminded me of neuroplasticity. So this is what happens, is that when you're exposed to conversations, when you're exposed to new learnings, when you're exposed to new things, basically, it changes your chemical in the brain. It makes your brain be strengthened. You're able to maneuver around anything in your environment. You're able to. So Kushukuti, and here's what I don't understand. If that's the case, people who are not willing, or people who are not actually taking care of their brain and not sitting and doing something, they still experience new things. Those new things, does it come down to how positive or how negative they are that makes a person complete?
No, the thing is now no one has control, right? But they don't have, they abana control ya bophelo ba bona. So the only way to have control of your life is taking care of the mind. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yeah, you do.
So how do you take care of the mind? It's a simple. Like if you were, because you must also believe that there is a mind, there is a brain, which you must take care.
Sure.
Similarly to when you drink alcohol, or smoke, but it affects your liver and everything. Your lungs, right?
Yeah.
So same applies. The way you take care of those things, you must also consider whatever that affects your brain. Then your question was people,
people belong they're just taking a stand. They're just living. They're not actively taking
they're the ones that are stuck within. They are stuck within thoughts and action. Everyone has a dream. Everyone wants to have a good life. Everyone wants to have everything, right? We think about them, we dream about them, but we are stuck there because we are not acting. The question is, it's so hard to act. What is it that you must act? When you go Jimmy, first thing that you must do, you must work in your brain and say, in the morning, you rewire it. In the morning, this is what I'm going to do. And then this is what I'm going to do. No matter how hard it is, you do it. Eventually, when you do those small things, we also have to prepare a bag. You are working on your mind,
Sure,
right?
sure.
How go gymming? You're also working on your mind. After getting into the gym, hopefully it's out happy, feel sharp, ready for the day.
You are ready to take it
Why?
on.
Is because of now, we must Google what does the brain do, whole gym, the neurons, what, like everything is running, like you're on fire.
Yes.
Ne?
Yes.
So worst part, even if you do pre-workout or you drink coffee, you start right?
Sure.
Am I right now?
No, you're spot on. You're
Okay.
spot on.
Now the thing is, the difference between batho ba o bolelang ka bona, about they don't know the importance of taking care of your brain. And if you take care of your brain, how do you then program it so that it can work for you?
So one of that issue neuroplasticity. When we were searching, I was actually making notes to answer the question of what happens when you train, right? So firstly, to define it here, so mod notes is the remarkable ability, right, of the nervous system to reorganize its structure, functions, and neural connections in response to new experiences, learnings, or injury. Now, what happens is that hopefully different types of neuroplasticity, that one of them being the adaptive neuroplasticity. Now, what happens is that the brain's natural response to environment becomes strengthened because of now you're exposing yourself to something that is painful. Gym is painful. You're experiencing, you're exposing yourself to having to deal with people that are not kind to one another. You become tough. You are able to take on things that no one else is able to face.
But mental
here's
strength.
the question. Yes, about mental strength.
Yeah.
And here's the question, and Luena Tabongs maybe can jump in here. Let's talk about those that kill themselves. That's easy good to look. I can't deal with this. I don't see anything beyond this. How does a person get there?
Yeah. That's a good question.
Yeah, it's a very powerful question.
Yeah, that's a powerful question. How do I get to a point where I decide to take my life?
Yeah.
Yeah, and say, no, enough is enough. Okay, let me answer according to what we see some psychologists suggest. Sometimes they speak on failure.
Sure.
Yeah. Someone sees their life as a failure altogether, ultimately. My marriage failed, my business failed, I'm not working, nothing is happening, I'm a failure, why I'm still here.
And those are emotions.
Those are emotions.
Yeah.
Which happens in the mind.
In the mind, exactly. Because in the mind, we have the mind.
The mind is thinking.
The emotions.
Yes. It's thinking, emotions, beliefs.
Yes.
Decision making.
Yes.
And self-awareness.
Yes.
In the mind.
In the mind.
Sure.
So that's what happens for those who decide to take their lives. So I just throw one because one will see themselves as a failure,
Yeah.
you know. And then those who are succeeding, they still believe that if I succeeded once, I can still succeed another time.
Sure.
Yeah, which kicks in the belief that is in the mind, Mr. Sebelebele mentioned. Another professor in the university did a, what do you call it, Thato? He took a rat, he dumped it inside.
An experiment.
Experiment.
Sure.
That's the word I wanted.
Sure.
Experiment. He dumped it into a bucket full of water. And the rat started to suffocate within that water, drown, going down inside the water. And he took it out, right? After taking it out, he put it on the side.
Sure.
He took another rat, he dumped it inside that bucket of water, and he didn't take it out. Within few minutes, that rat died. The one he took it out, he put it back again. It stayed in the water with the hope that I was once rescued.
Hey.
My rescue is coming. And it didn't die. And he took it out and he found the rat still alive. This is what happens to us. A person who comes to a point of saying, now I'm taking my life. Everything has been failing. He doesn't have reference of success. But us who are still holding on and say, no, there's a guy I know, he goes by the name Trevor. He traveled, this guy, some countries in Africa, with the hope that if I can get to South Africa, things will be fine.
Sure.
And he got here and things were fine. Even if you can take him to another country where there's a lot of suffering, he will still have hope of saying, hey, I once survived. I've seen it. I've seen a lot in my life.
So when you expose your body, going to gym, you expose your body to pain, eventually your mind adjusts to it. So next time when you come across something that is so cause pain or pressurize, it reminds you, your body and your mind remembers that I've survived these things.
Yes.
So which means I'll be able to survive.
Survive it.
That is why I narrowly survive.
Sure.
Pain, yeah, they prepare or and like pila.
Yeah.
Let me give you another one.
Yeah.
Sure.
Experiment. Because most of the time they use rats to do these things.
Yes.
A psychologist did this. He took a rat and put it in a cage. And then in the water, he put a drug to kill the water. And on the other side, he put the clean water. There's one clean water, and then the other water was full of drugs and poison and stuff like that.
Sure.
Because the rat was the only rat in that cage.
Yes.
It kept on drinking the water that has a poison to kill itself quickly. And there was clean water here. So this experiment was done for people who are struggling with drugs.
Yeah.
Right. Then he decided to take other 10 rats and put them in another cage. There's poison water and clean water, cheese, bread, like fruits, food. Lots and lots of female and male. There's fun, there's socialism. These rats can socialize. Date in between. Mjolonyana.
Yeah.
Gumnand.
Yeah.
Those rats, they didn't touch the water with the poison.
Because
They drank the water, the clean water, they ate food, they take good care of themselves. So this experiment is a proof of most of the people who struggle with drugs, who are drug addicts, they are social. It's terrible. It's either they don't have a family, they don't have a family structure, they don't have anyone who's supporting them. They are in a terrible space. If that person, you can allow him to come back into life, get a job, have a car, have a family, have a wife, have kids, this person will start to take good care of themselves because now they found the purpose of why I must live longer.
You actually remind me.
The quote you when you started reading.
I told you guys that I'm going to take your fame.
No, wait a minute.
No, and you're triggering a lot of things. So firstly, got the first experiment that he mentioned about the radio instituting and Kenyan and waiting for someone to come. I think people out here, and maybe let me turn this into a question. Do you guys think that the people that don't see that there's more to them, right? That live a robotic life. You go to work, you come back. You go to work, come back, sleep. Go to work, come back to sleep. Those people are doing this out of routine, without realizing that there's actually more that they need to do. The potential, the capability that was given to you when you were born. So, would you say those people are also fitting in that experiment that you mentioned?
Yes,
for sure.
But how do we then get them out of that run, out of that race?
How do we get them out of that is having this conversation. Because when we started talking like now, Larry, now I want to know Tomo Khalif. I was like, to brain and mind expect. As she prove.
Yeah, totally.
So I think by doing this, we are now exposed because merely to see the difference between the mind and the brain is something else. And how do the both works? Most of us don't know, right? And we live in pain, man. You know, have you ever you want to sleep, you put your head on a pillow, you can't sleep because it's so painful. Like even like you lose interest on anything. If somebody, and no one feel what you are feeling. When people look at you, it's either through your body structure, maybe your eyes, the way you walk. Like you can see that this person is going through pain, but you cannot share unless if you know the pain. You know, sometimes we go through things so that we can see them. Yeah.
Actually remind me of something. I never actually told you, right? Early last year when I was busy nursing my heartbreak.
Now you can talk about it.
Now you can talk about it.
Then you didn't want to.
No, I didn't want to. I was like, I'm not doing this. So you see that machine that you squat, right? You put like weights. So we normally when we're training shoulder,
yes,
we take that machine and we push it up so we can train shoulders with. So I'm busy, I'm pushing up, right? I'm pushing up and I'm alone. The next thing I'm crying. And I'm crying, like tears are running out. You know, Johan comes like, hey, what's wrong? I'm like, I don't know. I just felt like breaking.
Your mind was thinking about it.
The mind was thinking about it. And now I'm starting to understand, Hore, gym actually helped me a great deal.
Yeah.
Because of now, I was there consistently. Nagipela gymming. So there was a time I even lost weight. People were worried, like, hey, what's wrong?
Brabongs, I understand. You know what? There is even a song about this. These guys went and made a song. Got this thing. So Heron said this thing. We are going to play the song. The song must be there.
What's wrong with you?
Oh, heartbreak.
You know, as a
Keep playing it.
yes. And now look at him. We can laugh about it. It's gone.
It's gone.
And imagine a person who's going through the very same heartbreak or same pain, or they just lost something.
Yeah.
Even if you were to go to them and say, there is hope, if you do not understand what they're going through that moment,
yeah, you will not be able to talk
help
to
them.
No, it's true. You'll not be able to. Because and the reason why I mentioned this because now I'm actually going through sort of like reflection of like, yeah, but last year being koish. And gym was the only place whereby I could come out and start laughing.
Where you can find comfort.
Where I can find comfort. Where I can be able to socialize and see other people that are struggling out there.
So
some they find comfort at the church.
Yeah. Some playing soccer.
Some they find comfort at the tavern.
Yes, like black over black.
Yeah.
And you sit and start judging people because they are escaping from that pain.
Yeah.
And or trying to find comfort.
But you don't understand
You don't understand why.
Yeah.
Back to the red experiment.
So Rabongs. So we are saying, firstly, the most important thing between the mind and the brain, that when you must put in the work into, which is the mind. And why I'm saying so is because of in the mind, that's where thinking happens. Thinking in terms of what are you thinking about, right? When you're thinking, it says you have ideas, whether good or bad ideas. Reasoning, when you reason, do you still see there is hope or no hope now, right? Imagination, are you imagining, hey, at least to get like no? I really imagine.
That time when I know she ngabekele Petrus Motsepa nompona ke thela ka so itseng e te pila ngara o itseng ngaba le company anya ke mmereko.
Yes, because you must see it first. You must imagine this thing. Ube rich, right? And then the brain get used to those things. It adjusts. Agree?
It adapts,
It adapts. So these things are happening in the mind. Now the brain says, yeah, I agree, you're lying to your brain.
Yeah.
Well, you can feel.
And again, it's a decision. Going back to what we spoke about earlier on. I mean, anyone could have just said, hey, yeah, I can change my personality. I can alter who I am. I can stop believing. But some can say, oh, this thing happened to
Yes.
Mr. reference.
Yes.
In terms of like you are able to also utilize your pain as a strength to go after things.
Yes.
And I saw it. It happened. It works.
It works.
You become so focused. You don't want anything else.
Or they say, turn your pain into purple.
Yeah, you turn your
No, this is what they are telling us. They are not telling us how. Ne? So because of that is the thinking. Ideas, imagining. What are you imagining?
Yeah.
But when you do those things, the next step is emotions. Based on the imagination, if you imagine our exam, there is hope. You imagine you finding love, then there is love comes. Again, so either within the emotion, some of the emotions can love. So either you positive one, you say love. Opposite, no, I'm not. Opposite of love, hate. So based on the things that happen to you, you might have hatred.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
No, now you when you do love, you are fine. Or there's hope. Imagine Halle Berry. So get and then fear. All right. It's while fear within getting emotions soloring happens in the mind.
Sure.
Fear you will substitute with faith. Again, then those are the positive side. If fear, and then anger. It's easy you can get angry.
No, it's true. It's true.
That is why people end up too, because of everything.
Yeah.
Then nobody anger. Right?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's joy. It's joy, you know? Because joy, I don't know, man. You can have joyousness. What expose as long as communication, at least the girlfriend. Right? So which means the more utswaka mo utswa uyo bona batho ba bangwe uya gymming o bona ba bangwe.
Yes. Socialize.
Socialize. Nobody joy.
Yeah. You know, I was there's this video trend right of this guy. He's so excited for Musadia High. Musadia was graduating, I think in a PhD. I don't know if you saw it. So he's excited. He's overly into it. And then I went into the comments to LinkedIn, and some guy was saying that this is not good for you, Mjita, to be too feminine, because of now as a guy you need to be able to lead, you need to be able to toughen up. You can't be screaming like that. You can't be so overly excited from Sadia. How do you lead? Right? Then it actually breaks down the conversation. Now that comment starts a conversation. People are saying that, you know what? It's actually tough as a man to be out here in the industry, because of some men have actually paid fees for their girls or for their women, and when they graduate, they start seeing themselves elevated as better than, because of now you're not educated and now I'm educated. We don't deserve to be in the same space. So
to be in the relationship.
to be in the relationship. Now it actually has me now thinking about this conversation that we are having. There are many expectations of men. There are many expectations of guys with, like, when you're out there, this is how you need to behave. When you are with your woman, this is how you need to act. Why do we treat these genders as it is different? Why do we want to treat men different compared to women?
Yeah, hey.
So now, I
And then to add on that, have you noticed that in the latest stats going forward, men are the most less employed?
Yes.
Most companies employ women.
Yes.
Women are the ones who are working.
Who are working.
So majida re ntse go hae a re bereke ene ho ga ya go company engwe le engwe o fitla mo go kra the most employees ba company eo are women.
Are women.
What are we saying about that as well?
And additionally to that, again, the one of the guys gave us statistics to say about 60% of divorces, they take place when women become educated.
So ya brabong ke tlo thoma ka brabongsi ke tlo tla ko ya
That was on a prof.
so it's a ke dilo ma
Yes.
wa bona ke a bua bjale ke o bile
Apparently za tsela le o tshwanela.
ke tla ke sa di tlwaela ke sana le ya is ya inyaka heavy ke pe
Yeah.
so brabong, so the question you said, what are we saying about them, about these things where women are more employed than men, right? The question is, what are we doing to not even balance the equation?
The question is, what's happening to the men's
mindset?
Yeah.
Right?
How do you deal with that? Because
Yes.
of
Can we pack it? Because of, remember, really, we are now moving to opening up, not financial industry, now opening it up
Sure.
to the whole industry, employment and unemployment, right?
Yes. Sure.
And then we will also have a conversation, research a prop.
Okay.
For yeah. So, but kitlobo go ya how Thato. You kind of, what was your start?
The guy was celebrating the
Yes.
achievements of his wife.
Now those somewhere la mo notes mo ntwenya mind. I get it?
Yeah.
But the beliefs and the perception on how I get it, thinking, and then the emotions.
Yes.
Ki believe and perception. So kutlo arabaga perception.
Sure.
Now into the mind. Now we beliefs are created by Sarah Holland Resbon. Monna ali, monna behaviour so, and eventually have created a belief system of saying if you start acting like that, you are weak.
Yeah.
When you are actually happier for your partner because of what succeeder over cheerleader
Sure,
high,
sure.
then ba rohana ba gits ba bisa what go ro ba repeat.
Yeah, but you're in touch with your feminine thing.
Spirit.
Yeah.
And those are some of the belief systems really adopted when we grow up because of and which is wrong.
Sure,
And
sure.
it's even something at the same time, it also created a perception, a men who can show their emotion, whether they're excitement or love in public, they are weak. Which is not right.
What is one thing that if anyone misses everything that was said today, must take from this conversation?
There is difference between the mind and the brain. Everything happens into the mind. You choose whether negative or positive. And when you build habits, then your brain get used to it, and then it happens automatically. So the only favor that you can do is to say, look at what you think, look at your emotions, and also your belief and your perceptions. Because at the end of the day, what happens in the mind is not reality yet. It becomes reality when it starts happening in the brain, reborn. Because what the reactions about what they've been thinking about, and that is what they've been thinking over and over, fantasizing about. Yeah, they say you are what you think about. So choose to think positively, even though it's hard.
I appreciate it. The bunks.
As a man thinking in his heart, so he is.
Yeah.
That's what the Bible says.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's actually that book, as men think.
In his heart.
Yes.
Yeah.
As men thinketh, doeth.
Yes.
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 Yeah,
Yeah. Sure, no, Rabala, right too.
Sure, Tabang. So to take away.
Yeah, I like what Mr. Sebelebele said. We are talking about things that we are not experts on, but we are learning.
Yeah.
And we are sparking a conversation. If one of our viewers on the comment line feel that, you know what, I would love to come and contribute, you're more than welcome. I think so. To come and have a conversation. We're having a conversation.
Yeah.
So mine is, I like what Mr. Sebelebele did on the research and the information he brought when it comes to the questions we were all asking ourselves between the difference between the brain and the mind. So basically, you need to take care of your mind you need to take care of your brain because it's the hardware of the mind. The mind cannot exist if the brain is not there.
Sure.
So firstly, you need to eat well, take care of yourself, exercise, drink water, eat healthy food, you sleep enough.
Sure.
You know, yeah, take the physical part of it, take care of it. Don't bang your head on the things. Don't do hard work with your head because you're gonna affect your brain. Then when you have a healthy brain, now you are able to put healthy softwares, which is what you read, what you see, what you feel, your belief system, and all that. So then you are able now to put positive softwares that are needed to be helping your mind, because your mind is where your thinking happens. It's where your emotions happens. So that's my take for now. So I'm throwing it there to our viewers that make sure that you take good care of these two, the brain and the mind.
Yeah, no. Thank you so much, Tabang. Thank you so much, Captain. I think this has been an interesting conversation. One that I would take away, going back to start challenging myself, is to start reflecting upon my day, start possibly journaling my thoughts.
Welcome. Welcome to Anchor's Conversation. We talk real issues, discussing life, success, and failure. Join the conversation and we together, we inspire the next generation.